Welcome back to Route 40 Rust. Today we're going to tune up this little small block Chevy and give an update on how this 86 Suburban's been doing. Oh yeah, those are bad. Yep, we got about 1,000 miles on her now and just going once over it and see how things are going, and you know, just tinkering on a few things. Well, the last time you saw the 86 Chevy Suburban was, I don't know, the video April 30th or something around there, end of April. So the wife's been daily driving it, and of course we did the basics right off the bat, just a quick once over, and we changed on the oil, some Rotella 1540 T4 and a filter, of course, and just kind of made sure it was safe. And I think, see, she's already got it messy with the kids. That's okay, that's what it's for. So April 30th, and we checked it at 193,218 miles. We're at, can't get in there. What is that? 194.80. So almost 1,000 miles. April, May, and the month of May. What are we in, June? Anywho, that's where we're at. So we're gonna do kind of a once over and put some plug wires and plugs, cap rotor, do some maintenance, because it does have the valve seals leak a little bit, and on startup it'll burn a little oil. Nothing biggie. Maybe with the oil change and the Lucas oil stabilizer it'll come around. It's getting better. Like I said, it sat for a while. We did do some stuff to it. We put a window regulator in this door and the switch. We ordered those plastic covers here because, you know, they break. We got those from LMC, maybe 10 bucks a pop. I think the motor we got from Summit, that was 25 bucks, and the switch, just to not tear this door panel off to diagnose, I just went ahead and ordered the switch too, because it was, I don't know, 15 bucks, something there. Anyway, so that works now. What else have we done? Yeah, with kids slamming doors, our rust tool's been getting bigger, but that's okay, because I already ordered that quarter, which I'll get welded on, and I ordered the rest of this handle, which I haven't put on yet. Why? Because we already got paint bought, some clear coat, and consumables, and this thing is scheduled to go to the upholstery shop, Jared. He's gonna paint the gray, he's gonna redo all that. We'll do that probably this fall. I'll go ahead and take care of the quarter, some of the rust on the rockers, just to get it by. So we'll redo all the gray, and then we'll come around later and fix the red. We'll see what he recommends. He's a good body fella. Anyway, so small block Chevy, it's a GM crate motor, and I don't have any paperwork on it, so I don't know how many miles are actually on this. I guess I could check the numbers and see when it was built and give you my best guess, but from what we could tell, the truck itself has 190, what I say, 194 now. What did I say? We got it at 193. I'm so dumb. Yeah, 194. So she put 1,000 on it. We'll go ahead and pull the plugs and get a read on those and see if there's any issues and lay them out. And while we're at it, and I do have a whiff of gas. And we have a I don't even know what kind of hose this is. Probably not for fuel. Looks like it's cracked and leaking right there, so it's good we checked on it before she burns this thing to the ground. And the tank looked like she's a little rough, so we'll go ahead and put a filter on there so we can keep an eye on it. I'm sure that tank will need replaced sooner than later than sooner. I don't know. Start stacking stuff over here. Some fuel on the carb. I don't know what that's about. I'm no quadrijet guy. I got a couple laying around that I might just rebuild. I guess that go to the choke and burn off. A little blue wire. Probably. Let me know if that's electric choke. It's got to be the wire for it. Broken connector. Maybe we'll remedy that while we're under here. I guess we'll go ahead and start looking for a carb, or go ahead and rebuild this guy. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and pull some plugs out. I guess driver's side looks like bank one. My guess is they'll be awfully oily. Huh, not too bad. What's in it? An R43 TS. If I know my GM or my AC Delco plugs, is it higher the number, hotter the plug? I picked up some R44s. Nope, that one's not too bad. We'll start pulling them out and lining them up and see what we got here. What's the TS get you? R43 TS. Porcelain sticks out a little bit more. I don't know. Got R44Ts. What's the gap on these? 45 thousandths. All right, let's do that. Well, I ran into town for two reasons, actually. The first reason, to give you guys a chance to go get a snack while I was away. Maybe a cosmic brownie, rutabaga, turnip, no, maybe. And I had to get the right spark plugs. Or maybe I had the right ones and they would have worked, and I just don't know my GM stuff. But I learned something. On an AC Delco plug, R stands for Rupert, and he invented the spark plug. The 4 stands for 4 because it's after 3 and before 5, and the real math comes into the second number, which is a R43 TS, and the 3 is the heat range, and if you got the 4 or 5, that's your heat range. Hotter the plug, higher the number. But here's what I was interested in, the TS. See, I had R44Ts, and the T just stands for tapered, and that's all that these are, and the S is extended tip. Now, the R44s I bought did not have an extended tip. Here's TS. Don't know if you can see that. And here's an R44T. Now, would that have mattered? I don't know. I'm not a Chevrolet guy. But I know enough about Chevrolets to know that you guys love AC Delco. And Advanced Auto Parts did not have them. So I got an Autolite Platinum AP25. I love spending more money. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, looks just like the extended tip. The heat range, I don't know. I had them cross-reference a R44 TS, so this should be in a similar heat range. I don't know how Autolite does it. Maybe you can comment below and educate me. But for the time being, I'm just gonna swap these out one at a time and set the gap and screw them back in, and then we'll lay out the old spark plugs and take a look at them and see if there's anything jumping out at us. So far, I really expected this to be a lot more oily, and it's not. Smells like spark, looks like a plug. No physical damage. We'll take a look at it later, see what you guys think. Maybe you old timers out there are really good at reading spark plugs. You can, you know, taste them and smell them and put your bifocals on and say, yeah, she's running a little lean on bank 1 or something. Let me know, comment, and help me educate myself on some things. Might be wondering why I got these big old pliers, and the answer is I don't know. There's some ground wire right above cylinder 1. I don't know if it was an engine ground. I sure wish I knew these Chevrolets a little bit. I really don't. Broke off. We'll circle back to that. See if I can't get you in here and take a peek at what this wire is. I think the terminal broke off of it. I don't know. We'll see what it went to. If it's just an engine ground, I can magic that to go. Ooh, something else I wanted to show you. Whoever did the plug wires on this machine, look at the zip tie harness. That's how you know someone with some experience has wrenched on this thing. I mean, I make those things. It's a lost art. Let's get you set right back up in there. Oh yeah. Let's move on to the next plug as we continually make things worse. We might not do wires. These look pretty good. And I don't care who you are, rich or poor, you gotta save money these days. I drove that 1970 flatbed into town. I think it's like 8 miles to the gallon. So that little spark plug snafu, she added up. I might be eating bologna. This plug doesn't look hurtful either. Same thing. Lean. I don't know. Let's just keep on keeping on. Let's put this R44T away before I break it. All right. Number Quattro. Plop. Plug wires look great. Still got the goop in them. Tell you what, I thought, come on, well, come on now. I thought the good thing about small block Chevys were you're able to get parts anywhere. But I'll be honest with you, I struggled getting parts for this guy. Basic parts. I went to O'Reilly's. I went to Napa to get everything. Then once I realized I had the wrong plugs, I went to Advanced Auto Parts. What's that about? I need hope. I got it. I got it. Don't get up. I got it. Yeah. It's a 3 auto parts store. But I'll say 2 3/4 because I did buy the wrong plugs. And Advance was the closest. And I did spend about $800 million in fuel driving that Ford big block around town. Big whoop, right? Ugh. I'll be honest. Can I be honest with you guys? These spark plugs are not the easiest to get to. Now granted, I'm used to AMC engines, Ford big blocks. Well, this plug looks good too. And by good, I mean they're wore out, but no major signs of faults. Let me screw this last plug in and we'll take a look at this bank and see what you guys think. All right, here's what we got. See if we can do this. Now, I got the new ones, 45 thousandths. Per the sticker, we must obey the sticker. Now these, let's see if we can do this on the camera. Focus, focus. Maybe we've got to do this. Focus, nope. Anyway. Camera, don't focus. Pay attention. You know, with these things, I don't see any physical damage. Not fouled in any way. No deposits. And to be honest with you, you know, with the rust on them, you know, just looking at the porcelain and the electrode, that looks like just normal wear of a good, healthy running engine. From what I can tell. And I gapped them. It was like 48, 50, 50, 50 thousandths. So yeah, that's kind of typical of just a wore out spark plug that needed replaced. So that's pretty cool. I'm happy about that. I really expected to pull these things out and just being coked in oil. But hey, sometimes you win one. Not always, but sometimes you do. But I might be prematurely celebrating because I gotta do that other bank, and that could be bad. Now, it kind of makes me second guess the valve seals leaking down, you know, on a short sit, you know, a couple hours, fire it back up and blows a little bluish smoke in there. Not much, but if you're in a tight parking lot, you know, people might look at you and judge. I get that. That side looks a little bit easier. But maybe I got carb issues, or maybe those worn out plugs just didn't get it going enough. I don't know. It could be the choke not hooked up, working properly, has something to do with it, and that's just unburnt fuel that I'm smelling. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, especially you old timers. You guys can look at a plug from 100 yards away and know exactly how that engine's running. You can listen as the car is purring down the road and say exactly what's going on with it. But so far, this looks like a worn out spark plug. Let's move on. Where do you get your arms? Cool thing about that spark plug gapping checker tooly thingy is I was at an antique store with my wife. We took the 1966 Ford F-250 into town and did a little cruising, which is crazy. I'll tell you what, if you guys are into cars and you feel like something's missing, take the old lady for a spin. Get on a backcountry road and just enjoy yourselves, because, you know, we got 3 little ones running around, and it seems like you always got literally a Suburban full of children screaming. And it was pleasant. Kind of rekindled some, you know, some youth stuff, like, you know, when you were young and into cars and you were building cars to get the girls, and now you got the girl, and now you can never take the girl in your cars because you got the kids and they don't fit in the cars and stuff. Anywho, what was I talking about? Ooh, the spark plug thing. Yeah, so I went to town and they had a big old, like a rummaging bin. Like, yeah, everything was $1, or you got 15 things for 10, or flip a coin and you get 2 more, I don't know. And this was in there, and I like it. Usually I got to get the feeler gauges out of my engine building set. Ooh, that plug wire is different. Don't know why. Maybe we will do plug wires. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just get this thing running and go get ice cream. We just need to get it running one thing at a time. I'll tell you what, I'm a guy who suffers from a bit of anxiety. Now, when it's my vehicle or a project vehicle, it seems like there's no pressure, no rush. You know, or if it's my vehicle and I, you know, throw a rod on the side of the road and leave a track of oil a mile long, I'm not worried about it. I just get out and walk. That one's getting big. But when I'm working on the Mrs. Chariot, I feel a sense of urgency, like, whew, nothing can go wrong, because if it does, you know, like, I feel like any minute she's gonna come out here and need the vehicle to go somewhere. So it kind of stresses me out a bit. I don't know if you guys or gals have the same issue. If you're working on a vehicle for someone else, you just got that urgency. It kind of takes the fun out of tinkering with stuff. Could be wrong, could be me. I've been known to worry. Well, we're 6 out of 8 plugs done, so you could drive this thing coast to coast already, right? It's a small block Chevy, right? Tell you what we do need up in here is rain. This is the first week of June in Ohio, and the corn and soybeans are thirsty. Let me tell you. But lo and behold, I think we got some coming. That's gonna get a little tighter by the heater core box. I'm gonna have to get in there and say words that I'm gonna have to talk to the preacher about on Sunday. All right, now that we're done wrestling spark plugs in, let's take a look at this leaky fuel line. One, I don't think it's fuel hose. Two, these clamps were barely tight. Whatever this hose is, looks like heater hose. I don't like it. I'm almost ashamed to let my wife drive on it. But good thing I popped the hood on a Friday night. Just took a look at it. Now, you guys are probably wondering how those last spark plugs look. Just like worn out spark plugs. And to be fair, that might be the problem with blowing a little smoke out on startup. That last plug I yanked out of that hole almost looked like it had some physical damage, but it wasn't. I think it was just so wore out that maybe the spark was kind of jumping around weird or something, maybe because the gap was like 60 thousandths at this point, which might, you know, say that's the original spark plug that was in this GM crate motor when they put it in, and say those plugs have 100,000 miles on them. Now I don't know what a AC Delco, what was it, a R43 TS kind of mileage you can get out of them on a well-running engine, but I would call this a well-running engine. If that was 100,000 miles, you know, and say this is, we're assuming, has 194,000, you know, maybe that's about right. I don't know. I'm not a Chevy guy. Goodness gracious. Tell me what you think. I know you couldn't get a close-up look at those plugs, so I'm not going to hold you to it. I don't even think this hose clamp works anymore. I don't like vacuum lines. Also, let me know what the R44T is supposed to go in. Maybe a 70 small block, not having a extended tip. I don't know. I'm learning here, guys. Go easy on me. I've had all Jeeps and Fords and Dodges. And I'm a product of a Dodge dealership, so I'm not the smartest guy in town. What is this? Napa Belts Hose Multi-Duty Hose 5/16. That's 8mm for you mechanically or metrically inclined or SAE disabled, but I do not like that hose. And to be fair, that looks like 3/8 to me, which I was a little surprised to see 5/16 on a Suburban small block Chevy. I could be wrong. What we got? What we got? It's so rowdy. Anyway, let's see See if we can squeeze a filter on, maybe shoot out this way with a filter and loop back around with that guy. Hopefully no more of this hoses on there. I almost killed my whole family. Well, let me introduce you to my Christmas cookie tin full of hose clamps, none of which are good, that I just take off of various engines that I have laying around. Now whatever that crazy hose was this thing does not need 5/16. No sir. She's a 3/8 through and through. So I think what we'll do is go that, put that here, which is frustrating because I saw it was 5/16. I don't usually stock a bunch of 5/16 fuel filters because the only thing that really uses that around here, I need a new razor blade. This is my 75 CJ5 that's got an AMC 304. Other than that, everything's 3/8, and I've got one in every glove box. What is going on? Get. So I'm thinking, other than that, the 3/8 filters that you really want are these Wix 33003s, because they're clear, they're good. It's a Wix, they're like $4 or $5. You really can't beat them. What's going on here, guys? And if you care to know, the 5/16 Wix filter is a 33002 to make it really convenient. I think inline filters on these older rigs are overlooked. If you're not running an inline before your carburetor and or before your mechanical fuel pump, I'd look into it, because you know, I've destroyed a lot of mechanical fuel pumps by sending garbage through them. Tears out the diaphragm, and then it's dumping gas into the crankcase oil, and that's not cool. I've been down that road. So, you know, I'm getting frustrated with hose clamps. On my 1970 F350, I already cleaned the tank out the best I could. That one's gonna cut a hose. And on my 66, I haven't cleaned out the tank, so I've got a filter before the mechanical fuel pump and then one before the carburetor. Let's try this. I don't know if this one's got another fuel filter anywhere. I haven't really dug around on it. This would be as good as night as any to scoot around under this. I can't. It's just making me nervous. I don't know how to work on a small block Chevy. Maybe the goats do. The metal can filters, fuel filters, are pretty good too. The only downside is you can't see through them. You're pulling a lot of rust out of your tank. Yeah, I guess you could pull it off and blow through it or dump it out and see. The ones you really don't want are those glass ones that you can take apart and clean, because they have a tendency to rattle and loosen up and start leaking fuel. I had a 74 Maverick that I was young and dumb and thought that was the way to go, and I think I caught it on fire. And I saw an El Camino in town recently, just about burned to the ground. I don't know if I said this, but we need rain. Do the rain dance, Mo. The goat's over there just licking a fence. Strange, but I like it. Slightly restrictive looking, but I like it. Now I just need a stubby like that. Ha! Still dull. I just bought a pack of razor blades. Where are they? They're in the 66. I've been stocking up on shop consumables lately, and it has not been cheap, let me tell you what. Just joking. It has not been cheap lately. I think went to the hardware store and got some miscellaneous items and spent, you know, 40 bucks. But I bought a hatchet. Saw a hatchet and couldn't say no. But I just went to O'Reilly's and spent probably $200 in consumables like coolant and oil and FL1A filters for my various Fords and the tractors, and extra oil filter for this, and brake fluids and brake cleans and PB blasters. I like to stay ahead of the consumables, and I'll tell you why. Because when you're working late into the night and you got a problem on your hands, you need everything to work and have it there on hand. And also, like, here's a little tip: you're making a order from your favorite car parts people. I like Summit because they got an Ohio warehouse and ships right to me next day usually, unless it comes from another one. And to get that free shipping, if I'm just a little bit short, I'll add something like I just bought, you know, 25-foot box of 3/8 fuel line. That clamp is garbage, which is nice. You always have some 3/8 line, because you never know when you got through a boat tank in the bed of a truck and run 15 feet of hose into it to get you home. If you haven't been there, you will. Tell you what I do need to buy: hose clamps, because my Christmas tin, I'll tell you what, I'll make someone a deal. You send me some hose clamps, I'll send you these R44T spark plugs. It's a good trade to me. Not wild about this routing. At least we got the right hose on it. Yep. Filter, we can see what's coming out of this tank. That could be part of the problem with those smoky startups. I've had some old vehicles that you get into the bottom of that tank and you start burning some junk. before we address other things, let's fire this up and verify that we didn't do stupid things. Ooh, speaking of that wire that I broke off down there, I didn't break it after all. It's the coolant temp sensor, which you small block Chevy guys probably already know and have already commented 35 times below telling me I'm an idiot, and that's the coolant temp sensor. I didn't look what was down there. I just saw a wire that I pulled off, and it just had like a little terminal thing that slid over like a nipple on the sensor on the side of the head, but I fixed it. It's back on. I even crushed a little with a pair of pliers so it fits better. Yeah, anyway. I wonder if I get this choke to go back together. How does that go? Ooh. Like that. Tell you what, General Motors has got the strangest connectors. Let's crank on this guy and get her primed up with fuel. Make sure that doesn't leak before we move on with our merry little lives. See if that choke does anything, keys. Oh, it's got choke light on it. What? That's the brake light. Will it go out? Oh, I don't think it's smoked. The reason I'm squeezing on this fuel line, a lot of times you can feel the fuel pump pulsating through the fuel hose. Kind of like keeping your hand to your neck and feeling your own pulse. You can squeeze the fuel line. And I'm gonna let her run and see if that choke light goes out. I don't know. You guys, I don't know how that system works. If you want to enlighten me and tell me how a 80s small block Chevy with a quadrajet choke works. Exhaust sounds better over there. It kind of sounded like it had a miss on the right bank. That sounds much better. I wonder if that plug in the 8-hole was not a strong spark or something. I don't know. Maybe I should just unplug that choke. You guys tell me, please comment below and tell me how that circuit works. Is it see engine temperature and then pull the choke down? I don't know. I don't know how that would work. Still on. Yeah, let me know how that works. I'm gonna shut this down and go check out some. No, I'm gonna let it run and see if that temperature gauge is working okay. Watch this fuel line. Yep. What?
Where is the tractor you put in that?
The tractor?
No, the tractors.
Where's the tractors?
Yeah.
The tractor's over by the chicken coop. What are you doing with all those nets? Okay, we'll go easy on the butterflies. We need them in this world. Probably could rebuild that car, but she doesn't look the greatest, sound the greatest. Still a choke light. I don't know. What? Easy on the butterflies.
I got it.
The Suburban, that's a moth. The Suburban exhaust is killing the butterflies. I don't know. Enlighten me. Got another question for you guys. So this was the ridiculous air cleaner that was on it. Obviously not right. I don't know what this lid came off of. Not cut. I was at the junkyard. Snagged this off of some small block Chevy. I think it's the same bottom and the correct top or whatever, I think. Get out of my way. Let me know if that looks right. It's got like this pre-screener and I don't know, looks right. Turn it the right way. Yeah, they look about the same. The right lid, it's pretty rusty. Need to clean this out, paint it, maybe put this back on the Suburban. I don't think I have the right filter for it. I don't know. I guess I can just look up on the interwebs what the right filter is for this truck and do the right thing. I don't know. Throw that back on for now. Clean this up this weekend and find the right filter. Game plan. Well, just ran her down Route 40, and I think that tune-up really helped this thing out. We'll see if it kind of has that smoky start. We'll let it sit for an hour and fire it up. But I do have a question for everybody. I had mentioned earlier in the video how we're going to have this gray redone this fall, and you can buy a roll of this trim tape and get like 44 feet for, I don't know, X amount of dollars. And I'm looking at it, and I'm guessing when you get the roll you just cut it, but I don't know how you deal with that if you just take I don't know, like some paint and paint the chrome back on. See how this one is? Or do you buy factory pieces that fit the door, and then that piece and that piece? I don't know the best way to go about it. The roll's not too bad, but I don't want to get it and have to cut it and, you know, lose these bevels. Or do I put those bevels back into it and then paint it? I don't know. You guys, you square body guys, you Suburban guys, let me know. And then we'll lose the pinstripe just for a while. It'll come back when we circle around and do the red. Like I said, I got some body work to do on the rockers and that driver's rear quarter. And also, you guys might not like this, but the running boards are staying. And here's why. Bear with me. Because I'm going to the junkyard Monday and I'm going to get a roof rack for this thing. There's 2 Suburbans sitting at a specific junkyard that I like, and they've got both them roof racks on them, so I'm going to see if I can get them both, try those out, and that way it'll have a kind of a John Candy Great Outdoors Grand Cherokee or Harry and the Hendersons 1974 LTD family wagon kind of luggage approach, since that's what this whole rig is doing. So yeah, we'll probably do the rack and keep the running boards. I'll have to take some trim off to address that quarter panel, which I've got it. It showed up in the mail. We gotta do it. Yeah, what else is there? I feel like I had more questions, but nope, that's it. We're gonna let her sit for a bit and see how those plugs do.